Leviticus chapter 18. Leviticus chapter 18, beginning in verse 22. Notice what the Bible says. Leviticus 18 and verse 22. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind, it is an abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast, to defy thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion." That's talking about bestiality, or zoophilia, as they also call it. Continuing verse 24, it says, "Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you, and the land is" what? "Defiled. Therefore I do visit." God says, I do what? "I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants." So when God is visiting the earth, the Bible says that the land will what? Vomit. Do we see some vomiting happening on the earth now? Absolutely. We're seeing mountains, and the earth is beginning to vomit out the fire and brimstone. And it is flowing with lava in Hawaii. It is flowing in Guatemala. And the earth is vomiting as a result of the LGBT that we're seeing in our society. And the volcanoes exploding and erupting are a result of society's sins and a refusal to adhere to God's law. That is the reality that we're seeing in America. That's the reality, brothers and sisters. The reason why these volcanoes are erupting is because of sin. The LGBT sin primarily is what it brings out here in Leviticus 18. Notice what else it continues to say. It says, "Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you, for all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled." Notice the next verse, verse 28. "That the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you." Notice it says that the land spew. In the article, one of the articles that I read this week, it says, "Volcano grows more hazardous as spewing lava causes first major injury." Showing us that the land is beginning to spew us out. They're seeing sinkholes that are just coming up out of nowhere in different areas. They're seeing the earth is cracking open in various places across the world. I believe in Wyoming, here in America as well. The earth is just beginning to crack open. And it's showing us that the land is spewing us out. Why? Because of sin. The LGBT sin primarily. And so God is speaking by the volcanoes that are erupting. An article came out yesterday. It stated that the volcano in Hawaii, there was an eruption. It says seismic activity increases, earthquakes strike 5 days in a row. And scientists are examining the situation, and the scientists are saying, based on the activity they're seeing, that this can continue for months. Is what they're saying. They're not seeing an end to this, that it's just going to continue to happen. Already 700 homes have been destroyed in Hawaii as a result of the volcano there in Hawaii. We've seen the destruction that has taken place in Guatemala. The land is beginning to spew out her inhabitants, is what is happening. God is speaking through these things. Remember, when an earthquake happens, things shake, right? And in Revelation chapter 16, when we studied the seventh plague, we saw that when God announces his day and hour of his coming, when God speaks, that the earth will shake. There will be a great earthquake, the Bible says in Revelation 16, verse 18 through 20. There's going to be a great earthquake. In other words, when the earth is shaking, God is speaking, is what God is telling us. And God is speaking even through the eruptions of the volcanoes that we're seeing that are taking place even now. So in other words, things are not going to get better. Things are going to get worse. Jesus said, when you see wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes and pestilence and seas roaring and natural disasters, it says these things are the beginning of sorrows. Things are not going to get better in our society, brothers and sisters. They are going to get worse. That's why we need to make sure that our hearts are yielded over to Jesus, that we are fully surrendered in every area of our life to Christ. Otherwise, we will feel the 7 last plagues.